Shouldn't we be giving Trump an award then? I mean, he was the hero in this. He was at the child grape parties so he could stop them. Come see me on tour in Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, Louisville, Fort Wayne, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, San Francisco, Irvine. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. So you know how Trump doesn't want to release the Epstein files because it's going to reflect negatively on Israel and probably everybody else in government, including himself. Well, now, and he said it's a hoax. So Trump said it was a hoax. There's nothing to it. Mm-hmm. And so did Dan Bongino, said he killed himself. Don't worry about it. There's nothing to see there. There's no connection to intelligence, even though for years they all said there was, right? Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Trump himself brought up the Epstein files. Now Trump says it's all a hoax, left-wing hoax. But guess who isn't saying it's a left-wing hoax? The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Breaking. Speaker of the House announces that Trump was an FBI informant tasked with taking down Epstein. Well, if you were an FBI informant tasked with taking down Epstein, that means it's not a hoax, right, Trump? So now Trump is saying two totally different things. Of course it's not a hoax. Of course it's real, because now Speaker Johnson is saying that Donald Trump was actually on the inside trying to take down Jeffrey Epstein. Why would you be on the inside trying to take down Jeffrey Epstein if there was nothing to take down, if it was just a hoax? Well, here's Mike Johnson saying it.
He's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president knows and has great sympathy for the women who have suffered these unspeakable harms. It's detestable to him. He and I have spoken about this as recently as 24 hours ago.
So I always knew it. I knew Trump was a secret agent the whole time. I knew it. With his smooth, debonair, James Bond way of talking and the way he has to fight off the ladies. He's the actual Spider-Man, except he gets tangled in his own web.
Mike Johnson really pulled this off, too, making me convinced with the way he'd explain this.
Doesn't he sound like a loan shark enforcer? The way, like he wants money back? What? Let's listen.
He's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president knows and has great sympathy for the women who have suffered these unspeakable harms. It's detestable to him. He and I have spoken about this as recently as 24 hours ago.
So which is it? Is it a hoax or not? So here's what Trump says. So Trump was asked about it.
Mr. President, right now there have been survivors of Jeffrey Epstein speaking at a press conference on Capitol Hill. They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massie, who was sponsoring a discharge position to get the House to vote on releasing those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in this.
So they had a big press conference with the Epstein victims, calling for the release of all the Epstein files, and Thomas Massie wants a vote in Congress to force them to release it, and they're asking Trump about it.
Files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir? So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the...
Boy, what an interesting way for the Democrats to pull a hoax, right? Considering how many of them are also on the Epstein flight logs. Isn't that interesting? Here we go.
Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more. And nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since.
And so now I'm trying to get people to talk about other things that are totally irrelevant to the Epstein. I want them to talk about the DC cop takeover. I want them to talk about Venezuela. I want them to talk about everything else in the world except actually what's happening. I want them to talk about a guy throwing a hoagie, submarine sandwich at a cop, saying that that's the deep state. I want them to talk about everything else except the Epstein files. And isn't it interesting that Mike Johnson just said, hey, Trump was actually an FBI informant working on the Epstein case? Isn't that... I don't know.
Al Sharpton was more forthcoming about his FBI informant status than Trump. By the way, Democrat hoax, the Democrats, when they were in power, suppress this just how Trump is trying to
exactly.
do. They suppress even harder, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
At least people are asking him right now about it.
So here it is. Should the Epstein files be released? 82% of MAGA Republicans say yes. 86% of independents say yes. 83% of all Republicans want it released, and 90% of Democrats. So that's an overwhelming majority of Americans.
Yeah.
Want the
Everybody but Zionists. Everybody but Zionists. See how small of a percentage it is?
And so when it says 18% of MAGA want it released, that means that 18% of MAGA know for sure that Trump is in the Epstein files, and that's why they don't want it released. You see how that works?
I bet they think Israel, not Trump. I bet you, because I still am like.
And here is so Alex Jones actually responded to this, and even Alex Jones is going to admit here that the Epstein whole thing is about Mossad and the CIA. Watch this.
Our president is a serial pastoralist, and that's what he is.
Famous Trump hater Rosie O'Donnell just accused Trump of being, quote, a serial. There's no proof of that. Total fraud. In fact, I reported this decades ago, but it was Trump that first reported to the FBI Jeffrey Epstein that triggered his first conviction, because he was poaching 16-year-old girls like Jeffrey out of Mar-a-Lago. Before I ever endorsed Trump in 2016, we covered all that. We investigated it. Now, why he's been slow rolling it, why he's been doing this, is to protect Mossad and the CIA. We know that it's wrong, and I've said that.
So there's Alex Jones saying the reason why Trump is slow walking this is to protect the Mossad and the CIA in Israel. So it's not a hoax. Nobody believes it's a hoax. No one. It's not working. It's
really
not
worth it to protect that group, isn't it? The CIA and Mossad, the two best groups there are I can think of. So really got to protect those guys and gals.
So Donald Trump is the FBI informant on the inside of the Epstein Island circle, telling us that there's nothing to see here and we should move along. So this is the same stealthy FBI team that got escorted into the Capitol building on January 6th, right? Because those guys are good. You know, they were feds, even when the rest of the protesters outside were directly calling them feds. Here is Benny Johnson says, with this new revelation, it becomes clear that President Trump is the undisputed hero in the Epstein saga. This is quite a spin from Benny. Benny doing some good work here. Speaker Johnson confirmed that Trump served as an FBI informant, taking direct action against Jeffrey Epstein, one of the world's most dangerous traffickers. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The Epstein victim's attorney said the same thing over a decade ago and reiterated just a week ago. So I don't care if Trump, to me, it doesn't matter.
Look what he wrote. The key force in bringing Epstein down. I don't care about Epstein. I want the assholes that are still working.
That's right.
And you dipshit.
That's right.
Or it's worthless, or the whole thing's worthless. They will traffic your kids if they think it helps Israel or whatever regime change bullshit we do. Epstein's not just a human trafficker. Don't forget, he was laundering money for all the intel agencies.
Yes. That's right.
All the intel agencies ought to be put in a wood chipper, but every one of these fucking people who I think get paid through cutouts by intel agencies are like, oh, the bad man's gone now. So now, are you joking?
So now it was never, for me, it was never about, is Trump on the list, is he not on the list? For me, it was all about the Mossad, the CIA, and all the people that are being blackmailed, and compromised, and the money laundering,
dirty money,
and
from the CIA.
Yes,
who everybody in there ought to be put in Guantanamo.
So now they're trying to narrow the focus to, it wasn't Trump. Okay, it wasn't Trump, but so then release everything. Oh, Alex Jones just told you why they're not going to release everything, because Trump is covering for the Mossad and the CIA and the deep state. That's called the deep state, which is why Trump was allowed to become president in the first place, because he's in bed with the deep state. He's not actually fighting them. In fact, he gave them over $200 billion extra to go do their deep state stuff. $200 billion while your cities are rotting. He gave the deep state $200 billion more money, and Palantir is going to surveil you. You're going to be more surveilled than the Palestinians are by the IDF.
Well, that really worked. By the way, thank God it doesn't work that well. Thank God it doesn't work that well.
Breaking. Speaker of the House just said that Trump was an FBI informant tasked with taking down Epstein. How dumb do they think the American people are? This is the most desperate cover-up attempt yet. Trump is not some secret double agent. He's just like Bill Clinton. Adam Johnson says, so it seems they are actually going with Trump was a white hat.
Yeah, well, that's your government. I mean, keep believing in it, keep voting, keep sending your kids to go die in a war. Do all that. It's go to football. Go watch a good football game.
So
morons.
This is funny. It said he was only at the child grape parties so he could stop it. No, you aren't allowed to see the files about this hero.
Yeah, where's the medal? I would have liked to hear earlier.
Yes.
It would make my mind rest easy if I hadn't seen Harry Potter stammer it out like he just made it up.
Yep. So shouldn't we be giving Trump an award then? I mean, he was the hero in this. He was at the child grape parties so he could stop them.
Mike Johnson, freshly back from doing a red heifer magical occult ritual in Israel. You know, he went there and smuggled red heifers.
Yes,
there
I know
to
that.
build the third, whatever goofball shit. These people suck.
So here comes Marjorie Taylor Greene to also disagree with Trump and Mike Johnson.
Hoax. While these women were speaking out and they were saying we're not a hoax, we're human beings, and I think we need to see something turn around there.
Yeah,
and I'll say this here:
he can prove it's a hoax by releasing it. Let us decide if it's a hoax or not. I mean, I love everything they're doing.
Let us decide. Let us decide if it's a hoax or not. Release all the files, and we'll decide. And by the way, those files will show that Donald Trump was doing the bidding of the FBI, and he was trying to bring down Jeffrey Epstein. Why would he be afraid to show us that?
Why do they get to have any secrets anymore about anything in history at all? I don't understand why, unless they're hiding unspeakable crimes they could never come clean about. There is no other reason. That JFK thing that he just said, what a prick. 80,000 documents. You know what? I don't want to see your dumb documents. I want you, the guy in charge, to just tell me all the shit you don't want to tell me.
Yeah.
F you and your documents. I know there's not documents. Who's on the videos?
And so
somebody saw them. Make them talk.
And so Dan Bongino and Cass Patel say, trust me, I've seen all the files. But democracy is not based on trust. Democracy is based on mistrust. And so that's why we have open courts. That's why we have open hearings in Congress. That's why we don't have secrets from the American people, because our government actually isn't based on trust. It's based on mistrust. And that's why we're supposed to have transparency in government. This
is why the post-World War II narrative is collapsing. It's not because of anti-Semitism. It's because of this bullshit for the last 80 years.
So make sure, and if you would like to hear my Epstein PDF Ophelia jokes, you should come see me in Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago, Louisville, Fort Wayne, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, and San Francisco. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Come see me on tour in Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, Louisville, Fort Wayne, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, San Francisco, Irvine. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.